Which presentation is yours? Let me find it.
It's depression too.
Oh, is that what you titled it? The
Mental health, depression, I think.
Oh, are you on page 2? That one? How do you spell your last name?
More.
Hmm.
Is it mental?
Oh, okay, there it is. It's just mental health. I was looking for depression. All right, so it should be filming you, so just know that's where the camera is and it gets the.
Okay. My name is Shrey, and I'm presenting over depression. What is depression? Can I sit down? Depression is not just a change in mood or a sign of weakness. It is a severe medical condition with many emotional, physical, and behavioral symptoms. Depression is one of the leading causes of disability worldwide. Women are nearly twice as likely as men to be diagnosed with depression, and this is because women experience more hormonal issues than men constantly. Okay. Some mood changes can be a cause of hormonal changes, but hormonal changes are not just the leading cause of depression alone in women. And it could be because if you have a family history of depression, you may be more susceptible to develop depression once in your lifetime. What factors contribute to the cause of depression? Depression can be caused from family history, like I just said, or traumatic situations or traumatic events that occurred while you were a child, or chronic illnesses, like if you had cancer or diabetes or anything that's like an illness in your life, you can get depressed. Or if you find out that you have caught an illness, you can become depressed. Substance abuse as well, like alcoholism or opioid overuse, are also associated with depression. And like I said, traumatic events can cause depression. How can someone tell if they have depression? Depression may cause someone to feel sad, hopeless, or have little interest in things that they used to do. If you have a friend who y'all usually like to go for walks or usually like to go out, and every time you talk to her and she doesn't want to do those things, usually that could be a sign of depression. Treatment and care. Each case of depression, I feel like, is different. Sometimes you could be depressed because you're not eating right, or you're not getting enough sleep, or you're not exercising, because the way you treat your body is the way your body will treat you. So if you're not eating healthy and you're letting all of that sit in your body, you can feel sad. If you're not exercising, you could feel sad. It could be clinical. It could be because of things that you've experienced. It could be because your mother and your grandmother have depression, and that's what you're constantly around, so that can have an impact on you and how your mood acts. Poverty also is a really high cause of depression. 35% of American households in 2020 fell within the poverty line, and 31% of them said that they experienced depression at least once. Um, Poverty can be very devastating to people who are struggling to get by. Poverty creates many chronic stresses, which leads to poor psychological well being that can also lead to depression. If a parent suffers from stress or poverty, they then can develop a mental illness and then no longer can be the best version of themselves, which can cause people around them to be affected by that. And personally, I don't feel like it's a depression gene. I do feel like if your mother was depressed and you're around that, then you can become depressed. I feel like that's how that goes, but studies say differently. As a social worker, to help someone who is struggling with depression, you can help them connect with important sources, support groups, guide them to support programs or counseling. You can do accessing referral resources, which is the same as guiding them to support programs, brief treatment, which is like, it's kind of like, just a short assessment to see what your client needs, or crisis intervention, which is also like a short-term counseling, see what it is that will work best for the client that's suffering from depression. So those are all things that a social worker can do to help. Or you can also be a safe gate for the person yourself as a social worker, because sometimes they just need a listening ear to talk to. And I think that is it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Is yours in D2L also?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get that. So then remember to just grab the class link for today, and then you guys submit that, like attach it on. How do you put in your presentation here? Is it?
Oh, my name is Lakira.
Look at that right there. Okay.
Oh, no, don't press that.
Will that blow it up? It'll be like.
No, that's just a picture in here that says drug abuse.
Okay.
I don't think it's the actual PowerPoint. The link itself is the PowerPoint.
Does it show the?
No, it's right there. Okay.
All right, cool.
We can't make it like a real presentation.
Now that might be where my pay grade ends.
Wait, well, we just scroll down. Then we could just go into it.
So like that. Will that one do it? I hope it opens it.
Thank you. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Lakira. My project will be on drug abuse. Just so you know, in my presentation, it's going to be a chance for you to win some money. So just try to pay attention. Okay? Okay. Y'all, it's real short and sweet. Okay, so drug abuse is basically people it's overly using drugs. I'm not going to be the type of person to read the presentation. I'm going to kind of sum it up because that makes sense to read what you already can see. So it's just overly using drugs. It could be over-the-counter meds. It's just the feeling and just overly using something. Okay. Everyone got to read it?
You got new scales though. No more triple beams.
Okay. These are some of the symptoms. I will read these. So some symptoms are drowsiness, slurred speech, lack of coordination, irritability, and changes in mood, thinking clearly, memory problems, and eye movement. So like when your eye twitches and and that's it. Okay. The way that social workers help is simply the 12-step program. The next slide will explain what the 12-step program is, and you'll be able to read that. And simply just halfway houses, just simply requesting therapy. And simply just requesting something like that can help them. Some people just don't know. This is the 12 steps. I'll give you all a moment to read it. This is really important. This is where the money comes in.
They wrote them in 1935. It was 6 steps, and in 1939 it became 12 steps, and they published that book.
Okay, everyone ready? Okay. Some effects of drug abuse is you can damage your liver. This picture right here is just a damaged liver. Seizures, strokes, brain damage, all of those things. Read a little more.
Liver can look like a beer belly. That's where the beer belly comes from. It's actually your liver enlarged.
Okay, and here go the videos.
Today's topic is drug abuse. Drug abuse, also called substance
Y'all want me
abuse,
to zoom in or
is an
this is
illness
good?
that is characterized by a destructive, patterned use of illegal or legal drugs or medication. The condition affects the person's brain and behavior, such that they are unable to control the use of the drug, to the point that it interferes with their ability to function. The drug user consumes the substance in amounts or with methods that are harmful to themselves or others. Some of the most commonly used drugs are alcohol, cocaine, opioids, benzodiazepines, cannabis, barbiturates, amphetamine, hallucinogens, inhalants, club drugs, and other substances. There are over 190 million drug users around the world, and the problem keeps increasing at an alarming rate, especially among young adults under the age of 30. Drug abuse can cause long-term damage to the body. Drug addicts who use needles are at a greater risk of having HIV and hepatitis B and C infections. People start to use drugs for so many reasons. Some people start with the experimental use of recreational drugs out of curiosity, to have a good time, or because friends are doing it. For others, drug abuse begins with exposure to prescribed medications from a friend or relative who has been prescribed the medications, particularly with opioids. Over time, you may need larger doses of the drug to get high, and as drug use increases, it may get extremely difficult to go without the drug. An attempt to stop the drug may cause intense cravings as well as getting physically ill. In 2015, substance use disorder resulted in 307,400 deaths. Highest numbers are from alcohol use disorders, around 137,500. Opioids use disorder has 122,100 deaths. Cocaine use disorders has 11,100 deaths, and amphetamine use disorder has 12,200 deaths. Causes. Each drug produces different physical effects on the brain. However, repeated use of a drug can alter the way in which the brain functions, including the way the brain feels pleasure. The addicting drug use causes changes in your brain that interferes with the ability to think, control your behavior, and at the same time, send intense impulses to take drugs. It is because of this change in the brain that it is so challenging for an addicted person to stop taking drugs. Like many mental disorders, drug abuse has no single cause. Many factors may contribute to the development of drug addiction. The main factors are genetics, environmental factors, such as parental abuse or neglect, family beliefs, exposure to peer groups that encourages drug abuse. Other factors that may affect the likelihood and speed of developing a substance addiction may include psychological problems, such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, as well as personality disorders. Peer pressure, early use of drugs, unstable home environment, poor relationship with parents, inadequate supervision over adolescents' activities, poor achievement in school. Symptoms: a regular urge to use drugs daily or even several times a day. Recurrent substance use that prevents the user from meeting significant daily responsibilities at work, home, or school. Recurrent drug use in physically dangerous situations. Withdrawal symptoms at every attempt to stop drug use. An unsuccessful trial of decreasing or controlling the use of the drug. Cutting back on social or recreational activities because of drug use. Continual use of the drug, even though the person is aware of recurring physical or psychological problems caused or worsened by drug use. A need to keep or maintain a supply of the drug. Spending more money on the drug, even though one can't afford it. Doing things you wouldn't do, such as going to the extent of stealing to get the drug. Diagnosis and treatment. A thorough evaluation that includes an assessment by a psychiatrist, psychologist, or licensed alcohol and drug counselor may be required for diagnosis. Blood, urine, or other lab tests are used in assessing drug use, but they do not serve as a diagnostic test for substance abuse. Treatment. With the right treatment and support, it is possible to counteract the disruptive effect of drug use and regaining control of your life. The primary goals of treatment are abstinence, relapse prevention, and rehabilitation. Treatment options may include chemical dependence treatment programs, detoxification, behavioral therapy, support from friends, family, doctor support groups, or an organized treatment program may help to overcome your drug addiction and stay drug-free. Thank you for watching our video. Please do not forget to like and share the video. Also, please.
Okay, so that was the first video. The second one was a lot more interesting to me. This was just more informative. But this second one is a lot more interesting. And as a parent, when I become a parent, it'll make me want to look more into my children's rooms simply because of this video you're going to watch next.
Everybody wants to believe that their kid will be the next victim.
You know, the sad reality is that turning a blind eye out of pride can be a deadly mistake. WMAR2 News' Eddie Kadam is working for the future tonight. He was inside a mock teenager's bedroom and shows us some of the small things that are big indications of drug use.
See this foot from the spoon.
Black smudges, blood stains, pieces of plastic bags, mainly unnoticeable in a teenager's room, but potentially crucial to saving a life.
When it comes apart, it's actually a scale. Magazine, paper, chewing gum. Look in them. What the user will do is take a shoestring out and use it as a tourniquet.
The Rally Cares trailer is outside of the Carver Vocational Technical High School.
Sometimes parents just don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to be alarmed about. And so any resource we can put in the hands of the parents, so that they can, be the best parent that they can for their children.
An area where too many parents have seen the deadly results.
Things are more sophisticated, and I'm getting older and slower. And if somebody can give me some information to help me to cite something wrong with the children, whether it be my child or anyone else's child.
Parents who lost children helped to build this room out of their own terrible memories.
Leather belt, and she kept noticing that his teeth imprints were on the belt.
What they know now that they didn't know then. And it was also set up by walking first responders and police officers through who were responding to overdoses in teens' bedrooms.
A quick look at a bathroom, private, easy to close yourself off.
Q-tips with cotton gone in their kids' trash cans. And what a user will do will take that cotton and put it in a spoon, a cap. They'll add liquid to it, add heroin. He'll heat it up, and then they'll put the cotton in and using it as a filtering device.
Around 2,000 lives taken by overdose in the state of Maryland that could have been prevented.
Where the backup battery is. Scale.
If more people knew how to follow the signs. In West Baltimore, Eddie Kadam, WMAR2 News.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. The other video, is it gonna play automatically?
Close it however it goes back.
Today's topic is drug abuse.
Sorry.
Drug abuse, also called substance abuse, is an illness that is characterized by a destructive patterned use of illegal or legal drugs or medication. The condition affects the...
Okay, so how do you get this down?
Looks like next to, you're almost there, the picture of Gandhi at the top. It has an arrow going to the side. I think you have to press. It's a really, it's a weird spot to put it, but it looks like.
Oh, okay. Oh, I am so sorry,
It's
everyone.
okay. So the last one's about drug abuse too?
Yes, the next one is more detail about both of them, but it's a 15-minute video, so we don't need to do that. Like I said in the beginning, it's some chance to win some money. Can someone give me one deadly sign that they said in the video? The second video where they talked about the...
Was it the belt?
Huh?
The belt, like.
Yep, there you go. That's one. Anybody else want to try?
The plastic bags. The little baggies.
Yep. Anybody else?
Shoestring.
I guess. But yeah.
Or they had the scale, the five scales.
Okay. All y'all got Cash App?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, before I leave, I'm gonna make sure I cash out all of you submit. And then the last one. So if you go back to the symptoms, I'm not gonna go to it, but if you go back to the symptoms, they were all color coordinated. If you can remember the third color, you get some money too. No.
Green. You say all like rainbow colors.
No, you don't. No one?
The color or the words that it was describing?
Either or.
No.
Do the yellow guys?
No. Okay, well, that concludes the presentation. Hope you all learned something. Anyone have any questions? No? Okay.
Nice video.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, good work on it. And then just submit the link because you guys should be filmed. There's two of them. Right, but the one that just filmed you. So that way, I'm about to stop it now. There we go. Now you have record of you presenting.